Hey everyone, I'm Steve and I'm here in the shop in the wood turning store. And I'm really excited about this video because every once in a while, something comes along in the wood turning world that really changes the game in how we do our craft. And today I want to talk to you about the Axminster carbide tipped pen trimmer and reamer set. Before I show you that, I want to show you what we've been typically using to trim the barrel of our pens for many, many years. This is a typical pen trimmer or barrel trimmer, pen reamer, whatever you'd like to call it, with changeable shafts here to get the glue out from inside your pen tube and a high-speed steel cutter. The problem with these high-speed steel cutters is that you're cutting end grain. And even if you have a good quality high-speed steel cutter, they don't last very long before they need to be sharpened. And sharpening them is not easy because you have to get every surface exactly in the same line, even a few thousandths off, and it won't work. So these cutters have been problematic for pen turners for decades. There are already carbide tipped pen trimmers out there, but just about everyone that I know of uses a typical flat carbide insert such as that. But what Axminster's done is they've used a diamond-shaped cutter, super sharp, with a positive rake. Let me show you that. So hopefully you can see that. But the carbide cutting edges, there's two of them here that are used, are extremely sharp and have a positive rake. And compare that to the old style or the typical carbide cutter, which essentially is a scraper. So here's what the system looks like. You have your cutter head with the carbide insert, and you have a selection of tube reamers. And this one, for example, is marked on at 7 millimeters for 7 millimeter tubes. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different ones, all the way up to, in both metric and English, up to 37/64, which is quite large. You choose the reamer for your tube size. It threads in to the trimmer barrel. Comes with an included wrench. Tighten it up. And now you're ready to mount it into a drill chuck. Now this is a new product, and a customer purchased one right away and came back with some feedback and said, hey, you know, it works great for one type of material. For wood, it worked great, but for acrylic, it was really chippy. And I said, well, let me look into that. So I have here an acrylic blank, and I'm going to mount it into my Axminster pen jaws. So I have the trimmer. It has a hex shank, and I'm going to mount this into my Hurricane drill chuck. So the first thing that I did was I held this freehand, figured it'd save time, turned on the lathe, put it inside, and before I knew it, bam, got this chip here. So the customer was actually right. And what I came to learn is that the cutter is so sharp that you really don't have the ability to hold it steady in the pilot bore here without getting it to become too grabby. So my recommendation is you absolutely need to use it in your tailstock. So here's how I would set it up. So I'm mounting the drill chuck in the tailstock of my lathe, and we're going to want to line up the tailstock. There's always a little bit of movement here, so it's a little bit of tolerance in the tailstock. You're going to line up your tailstock, advance it into the piece, and lock down your tailstock. Now I will turn on my lathe. I have the speed here at about 1,000 RPM. I'll hold on to the drill chuck and I'll advance very, very slowly. Remember, this is a very sharp carbide cutter. It's very aggressive, as you saw where I blew the piece apart just before. So we're going to advance the hand wheel very, very lightly. And you can see how it's making beautiful shavings. Let's back off and take a look. So there's a close-up shot. Let's back out. And we'll keep going. And there you have it, super clean cut. What I'm going to do now is, this pen blank was extremely long. I'm just going to take a tool, turn down the pen blank a little bit so we can get in nice and close and show you how we finish. So I took a minute off camera and I just trimmed the blank down a little bit more with a gouge. And now if you look in here, I hope you can see it. I have maybe a 1/16 of an inch of the acrylic blank before I hit the brass tube. So this will show a little more realistic approach of what you would do. I will turn on the lathe. Again, I've lined up my tailstock to the center of the tube, holding on to the drill chuck. And now I only have to go, like I said, about a 1/16 of an inch. I'm going to just, if you look at my hand here, I'm going fingers lightness. Okay. I hope you can see that. We have the end surface of the pen blank exactly perpendicular to the axis of the tube, beautifully cut and flush with the brass tube. Now let me show you what happens if you're not careful and you just go a little bit more than you need to. That brass and this cutter is not going to stop at all for the brass. So there you go. And if I show you in the shavings here, I don't know if you can see that, but there's brass in the shavings. That's how easy it was to destroy my tube. So there you go, that's something you don't want to do. Again, I'll take this around, I will take this out, turn this around, just to give you another look, line it up. Trimmed and flush. That's the Axminster pen, trimmer, and reamer, available from us at the wood turning store. I hope this video was helpful. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. If you have any comments, put them down below. Give it a try, and thanks for watching.